Prime Minister Modi looms large on the world stage. Definitely, his policies and initiatives have had their impact. But there is also a personal respect that influences the attitude of others. Peers perceive him as quintessentially Indian and respond accordingly. His language, metaphors, appearance, mannerisms, and habits, they define a persona that the world has come to recognize. Before Modi, this question engrossed and puzzled many serious students of politics and society. In the immediate aftermath of 1947, national leaders were identified by their name recall across regions and states because of their participation in the freedom struggle. In the succeeding decades, however, notably at the height of the coalition era, the expression national leader came to be much abused. It was a status generously distributed by the Delhi media to its friends and favorites. The label was handed out even to politicians of no proven merit and only capable of winning a Lok Sabha seat from one or two safe seats. They were very visible in news television studios but unknown in villages merely 25 kilometers away from Parliament House. After Modi and after 2014, such facile and insincere manufacturing of national leaders was shown up for what it was. Narendra Modi is now the template for what it means and what it takes to be a national leader. Every time you go to meet the Prime Minister, engage him in a conversation, it is like you prepare well. You don't go in there without having done your homework and be very clear about what you are saying. I think Vice Chancellor mentioned he was very data point driven, so a very empirical person in a way. And this is how I describe it. It is worth reflecting on the habits and worldview of a Prime Minister who has put such a strong personal imprint on foreign policy. Along with his legendary energy level, what is striking about Narendra Modi is his enormous curiosity about the world. His zest to absorb and process information is matched only by an ability to deploy it effectively. For us, it may be a data point. For him, it is a way of connecting and influencing. This may be the innate trait of a politician, but he has taken it to an altogether different level. The goal is obviously to arrive at the best possible understanding of what awaits him and to shape it to advantage. It could be the intricacies of American politics before meeting President Obama, Chinese history as he was going into Xi'an, or perhaps the post-Soviet era to get a good feel of President Putin. He would not only soak in what was being explained, but constantly push to do better. the interest may pertain to happenings, subjects, and domains. It could easily be about people and their interplay. There was also a sense of self-discipline in this exercise. He wants to be clear about the red lines before engaging. For the Prime Minister himself, sources of information are broad and diverse, ranging from the spoken and written word to the officialdom, political world, media, or networking. The idea is to get into the mind of the other party. Interacting with him at that time as Foreign Secretary, I noted that he was never hesitant to ask and always patient in listening. What has now become a standard operating procedure for the Delhi bureaucracy was initially a novel experience for all of us. Anyone engaging with him at any level had to prepare thoroughly to hold their own. Among the Prime Minister's many attributes, one that stands out is his deep sense of nationalism. This is, of course, intrinsic to his political beliefs and one very much in evidence even when he was Chief Minister. When I first met him as ambassador in China in 2011, unlike many other Chief Ministers, he specifically sought a political briefing. I recall his emphasizing that on issues of terrorism and sovereignty, we needed to make sure that we spoke with one voice abroad, especially in China. This, incidentally, was also my first exposure to his method of working. Among his takeaways was his insistence that I should not hesitate to indicate clearly what he should say and equally what he should not say. His letter on return to India went beyond the normal appreciations that visitors expend to hospitality, etc. What was different was a very pointed mention. I still have the letter, by the way. It is one of my prized memories. What was different was a pointed mention of my successfully upholding the interests of our country in China. As Prime Minister, it was only to be expected that he would be confronted with national security challenges on a recurring basis and on occasion as a crisis. When it comes to terrorism, especially of a cross-border nature, he has been crystal clear that he would never allow it to be normalized. This determination has shaped our Pakistan policy since 2014. And lastly, I would, in a sense, give you, it's been 8 years now working with the Prime Minister, so all of you see him from the country, in a sense, because I travel with him, I look at, I'm with him on a lot of occasions abroad. How does the world see him? And that's also something I felt perhaps I should spell out. And I put it to you this way. There is no gainsaying the fact that Prime Minister Modi looms large on the world stage. Definitely, his policies and initiatives have had their impact. But there is also a personal respect that influences the attitude of others. Peers perceive him as quintessentially Indian and respond accordingly. His language, metaphors, appearance, mannerisms, and habits, they define a persona that the world has come to recognize.